And it's Who Would Win. We're here for Who Would Win. And this one comes to us from Moonstar. Moonstar asks the question, who would win a fight? Master Roshi versus Onoki, whose voice I cannot honestly recall from the English dub. Who was the third Tsuchikage, if I'm not mistaken? In the Naruto universe, he was the one we focused on the most, the one that was present in the Great Shinobi War, Third Great Shinobi War. So basically, two old warriors duking it out. And Master Roshi, have I actually had Master Roshi on this series before? Because I did my prediction when he fought Jiraiya in Death Battle, but thinking on it, I don't think I've actually ever had Master Roshi on this before. Master Roshi is the Turtle Army. He's over 300 years old. In fact, he cannot die of natural causes, having drank from the Fountain of Youth. Excuse me. Because he's over 300 years old, he has over 3 centuries worth of experience via actually fighting in struggles, fighting against threats like the Frieza Force, fighting in the Tournament of Power, all the years of combat experience he had before, then training individuals, pupils, martial arts experience, a master in the turtle style, which is about basically wearing down your opponent and using your opponent's weaknesses to their advantages. Roshi is Roshi. I think that's the best way to put it. He is the typical, in fact, he's one of the poster boys, and probably one of the, I would argue, even one of, he probably wasn't the first perverted teacher ever in anime or manga, but he was one of the OG ones. Not the OG, but one of the OG pervy teachers, pervy instructors, if you will. It's his bread and butter personality. But when it's time to get serious, Roshi can get serious. He is a skilled martial artist, like I said, a master martial artist. Despite being over 300 years old, he's still in really good physical shape. Particularly if he goes into buff mode, we actually see just how good shape he is in. He can go into that colossal physical hulking mode and wreck some fools. However, it's a mode that he can't hold for very long, despite all his power and skill. Roshi is a planet buster. He can blow up a moon. He blew up the moon, as a matter of fact, with a Kamehameha. He did that in the Dragon Ball Saga. Now, you scale him up after he's continued to train over years and years and years. He is more than capable of probably blowing up a planet if he really had to. He went toe to toe with a couple individuals who were easily planet busters. He went toe to toe with Frost, who was an alternate version of Frieza. Granted, Frost is weaker than Frieza, and Roshi was already exhausted, and he only went toe to toe with him for a little bit. Granted, he still got hit multiple times by Frost's death beam and was able to still get up and almost seal them away in the Mafuba. Roshi also, besides being the inventor of Kamehameha Wave, he also has his handy dandy, what was it? He has the Mafuba, obviously, which, he could theoretically has this little sealing bottle for and everything. But he also has, what was it? Lightning surprise attack, was it? Basically, it shocks you, it paralyzes you, and allows someone else to more or less knock you out if possible. Or there is the mad cow technique, or the sleepy boy take. You are a sleepy boy. So unless you can snap yourself out of it, you could probably be hypnotized by Roshi. Again, though, Roshi's still probably amongst the weakest of the Z fighters. Krillin's stronger than him. Tien's stronger than him. Well, it's debatable if Tien's stronger than him after that showing in the anime, but more likely Tien is stronger than him. I'd say Roshi is probably stronger than Yamcha and Chaozu, though, because neither of them really. Yamcha stopped training. He has a baseball career, and Chaozu, despite the fact he probably never stopped training, was never one of the strongest. Was probably arguably the weakest Z fighter. So Roshi's always been a badass, and Roshi will always be a badass. Onoki. Now, Onoki, and I think I'm pronouncing that name right. As I said, I believe he is the third Tsuchikage. Let me just get his profile back up here real quick. He's either the second or the third. I don't think Mui, or I think that was his name, the one before him, was is the fence sitter. Kage was occupation. Which one was he? I want to say he's the third. Yes, he's the third. Okay, so the third Tsuchikage, and one of the Kage who's considered to be like sitting on there or been doing his job probably the longest. Like he was there when Naruto's dad decimated their forces back in the day. So he was around for that I think he's been around for how many Shinobi Wars? How many? Let's see. As a young man, student of the second Tsuchikage Mui. Which one? Eventually, hardship. He endured the hardships of the third Shinobi War. I don't think he was around for the second, or if he was just like a baby. Anyway, he's really short, like really short. When I mean short, and when I say short, I am talking. Let's see, at 130 centimeters, translate that into feet real quick in my head. Roughly speaking, it's about 3 centimeters to an inch. So you're talking about someone who, that means it's about 30 inches to a foot. And again, this is all just scaling it up. 30 inches to a foot. So you're looking at someone who's barely over 4 feet tall. But he is able to counteract that by using an ability that allows him to levitate. Basically, the Tsuchikage is capable of levitating. Do they ever even say how he's capable of doing this? I'm going to guess it has to do with the fact that he's capable of using wind chakra. It's got to be something along those lines. Because otherwise, there's no logical reason for this technique. But as a Tsuchikage, he is the strongest ninja in the village, and certainly was the strongest ninja in the village, even at his advanced age. He was capable of apparently using 4 different chakra types, but elements, plus lava release in the novel, plus the dust release, which is known as a Keke Tokai. Or am I getting the name of that right? What was it? Keke Tokai, right? Toka? Am I getting the name of that right? The name's right here. Hold on. Because Keke Genkai is blood release. Keke Tota or Tuta or Tota. Forgive my American pronunciation of these things. It's basically, normal bloodline releases are basically like things like ice, fire, lava. Trying to think about storm. It was a combination of. They're usually a combination of 2 different elements. The next Keke Tota is a combination of 3 different elements. I believe, was combining his fire, earth, and wind, I want to say. He was capable of using dust release. Dust release essentially atomizes everything. Whatever it hits, it just dusts nothing. And now really the only main technique he ever used was known as the dust release. What's your name? Dust release detachment of the primitive world technique, which basically he forms a shape with a small orb in it. It can be a cone. It can be a square. It can be any shape he really wants, but the actual effect varies a bit depending on the shape. With a square, you essentially contain someone in the square, then the bright ball of light expands and pretty much atomizes everything in the square, but everything else is fine. If you're using the cone or sphere version of it, you can actually basically just extend it out for long-range attacks. And he was even demonstrated, Anko was even demonstrated to, separate it into both palms, use 2 palms for omnidirectional kind of attacks, and then combine them together for one super attack. Anko's I can't call him Anko. I always call him though, but it's actually Onoki. Onoki's no joke, man. Onoki, despite his small stature and lack of physical prowess, he's not physically very powerful. Even though he used an ability called technique called Rock Fist, where he had a rock for a fist that could punch with enhanced strength. To be fair, he could create golems. He created rock clones. He was also able to decrease and increase the weight of techniques, of item or objects using like lightweight rock technique. I believe that's the one where he easily just regulates the weight of something and He's able to, and it's able to do it to extremely large objects, like extremely large objects. But that being said, the ultra added weight technique, or ultra added, I hate when this happens. Okay, ultra light weight rock technique, which is essentially an enhanced version, I'm guessing, is the version he tried to use against Madara when he threw the meteors at him. 1 second here. There it is. Yeah, that's the technique that he tried to basically stop the meteors Madara was throwing at them with. But at the same time, yeah, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect technique because, unfortunately, Anko suffers from a very weak physical being. Because he's old, and particularly he has a bad back. He has a very bad back, even in his prime of the series, we'll say, when we actually meet him in the series, he is physically not in the best of shape. His back can easily go out if there's too much weight put up. Like, his back went out when the meteor came down. He even tried to fly up, really lower its weight, but unfortunately his back gave out at that point. It's like, crap, and there you go. So Onoki's also a guy who's lived on the battlefield his whole life. So he is a master strategist, master combatant, all of that. Ultimately, though, it's a matter of who would win this fight. That's the question we're asking here. Now, let's say that let's hypothetically say that that Naruto and Dragon Ball Z somehow took place in the same world, and they've just never been aware of each other somehow. Like, when the planet's been destroyed, they've always just been automatically destroyed. All the ninja died. But then they got brought back. Nothing happened. They just lived so far away that no one's ever been able to interact with them. I have to go with a realistic fight. So anyway, in the war, Roshi, they're traveling. Anko fights with I think Kabuto for a little bit, and then somehow winds up on an island. And Roshi's just, it's like, hello. It's like, you'll beat it. Oh God, where am I? You're on my island. This is the Kame's place. How may I help you? I'm Master Roshi. It's like, look, I'm busy. Just go away, old man. Oh man, you take a look at yourself in a mirror. I'm dead sexy compared to you. It's like, who you calling old? You midget, you bald freak. And then they just kind of, but then he just throws a rock fist at Roshi, who just nope, and the fight begins. So for a little while, he's just gonna start maybe throwing rocks at Roshi. Maybe summon a rock golem, all that. Roshi's just like, hey, then it's like, come now, is this the best you have? And then just boom, boom. Roshi could easily just go take on any rock technique that Onoki pretty much throws at him. That any of his rock techniques are not going to be in question. Roshi can beat him on that front alone. Now, Roshi can't fly. That's something that Onoki actually has over Roshi, is that he can't fly. So, Onoki will probably be moving around, and then he's gonna prepare. It's like, that's it, I've had it with you. And then prepares the dust release, and Roshi's immediately like, I don't like the looks of this. And then immediately gets out of the way as, a long-range dust technique comes, and he realizes that he just sliced through half his island and his house. At full power, they said that Onoki's dust technique could destroy an island, like a big island. Roshi's island ain't that big. I would argue that he might even risk destroying all of Roshi's island without too much difficulty. And Roshi's like, my house! Is like, you evil! And then just, lightning surprise attack! And then, he gets zapped, but apparently he has lightning release. Even though we've never seen any lightning techniques from him, he has lightning release. So I would imagine because he can use lightning release, while it would surprise him and kind of stun him momentarily, he would get up pretty quick. But at that point, Roshi already comes in, just boom, starts smacking him. Just bam, bam. Behold the power of the turtle style. Boom, and just uses his stab. Just boom. What do you got now? Oh, you old grumbly midget. And then he's like, I got this. It's like dust style. A detachment of the primitive world. All of a sudden, Roshi's caught, and so he's like, uh-oh. And then the dust, Onoki's about to basically end Roshi. But then Roshi basically just Kamehameha, and then then Dust Technique Kamehameha. Now, the Dust Technique can erode chakra like constructs. But we're not dealing with a chakra construct when we're dealing with a Kamehameha wave. The Kamehameha wave key is similar in many ways to chakra, but it is different in many ways to chakra too. Chakra is made up of the physical and spiritual energy of someone, whereas ki is a slightly different. There's a chakra points, depending on your definition. But ki is something a little different than chakra. It's different. So I would argue that the Dust Release might slow down a Kamehameha, but the problem is a Kamehameha probably moves way too fast for the Dust Technique to basically actually destroy the Kamehameha. And the Kamehameha's power is comparable and greater than the Kamehameha. And the reason I say that is, or the Kamehameha is comparable but greater than the Dust Release, I say it because a strong enough opponent could probably survive the Kamehameha. I'll be honest, because of the nature of the Dust Release, it would take someone of unique abilities if they actually got caught by the Dust Release to survive it, because it's pretty much atomizes you. That's exactly what it does. But luckily, Roshi in this case is able to basically blast it, but he's got chunks of his flesh missing and stuff like that, and very uniform cuts too, like very shapely hit like parts of his body. So while he was able to get out of there, his beard, he's like, this isn't good. And Onoki's just shocked by how strong this guy is. Like, all right, fine. And then he comes in, grabs it, he basically just uses all his power to kind of detach the island where they're standing. Roshi's kind of like in the shallows at the moment, using all his power to use in the ultra lightweight technique, throwing it at Roshi. But as he does it, his back kind of goes my back. And then Roshi just, my island, my house, and then just he grabs it barely, and he's able to put it thank God, that's it. And then he's like, you are a sleepy boy. And Noki's just what is he? What is he doing? What is he doing? Is this Genjutsu? Sleepy boy. And then again fires off a Dust Technique again. Just wow! And then just Roshi again, being in his muscle form, just again he shaves some of his muscle off, but he can dodge bullets. He's dodged light speed attacks before, thanks to, we know for a fact, in the universe in the Tournament of Power. So he's able to dodge, but he still gets clipped by it. And Bulldog is like, that's it, I've had it with you. And then reaching into his house real quick, evil containment wave, or Mafuban. And all of a sudden, Anko getting ready to do the final take. What is it? Now you sitting there and think about what you've done. And that's Roshi would win the fight. Why does Roshi win the fight? A, he's got over 3 centuries worth of experience over Onoki. Now, Onoki, here's the thing. I would actually argue that Onoki has actually spent more time and more of his life legitimately in war and on the battlefield. But Roshi has just had so much time and experience and learning, and still learning today, that I think it easily equals or counters it. Roshi's also just the better physical fighter. He's a master hand-to-hand fighter and still has a physicality to back that up, whereas Onoki does not. Now, Onoki does have flight over Roshi. He does have that. And the primitive dust technique, primitive detachment and primitive world technique, is a dangerous technique that Roshi can't afford to be hit by. If he's hit by that, he's done. He's done. I mean, if he's hit in his head, or he can lose an arm and be fine. Hell, the dragon can give him a new arm. That's not an issue. But if he gets hit, it's not like he's holding a energy beam back like we see in Dragon Ball Z. No, he gets hit by that, he's done. Problem is that Roshi is very adept at knowing how to dodge. Knowing how to avoid attacks and everything along those lines. He's just had enough time to, and fought individuals far more powerful than. Look, I'm not trying to disparage Madara here. I'm not. Madara was not a planet buster. Madara is strongest, maybe could have destroyed the moon. Because we never see, because we know Naruto is at least a sub-planet buster. He could blow up the moon if he wanted to. I'd argue he's not a planet buster, though, but that's a different story entirely. I've made my points on that a little bit. There's no technique, besides like the truth-seeking balls, and even then, those are powerful, but they're not planet busting unless he just tries to like raise the, like, there's really no one who's a true legitimate planet buster in Naruto. If I could, Naruto himself and maybe Sasuke are the only two I think that kind of qualify, and even then I'd be, it's just a matter of having a technique that would allow you to destroy the planet. That's where I'm trying to get at here. Naruto has the tail beast bomb, which he could just blow up like the moon with if he had to. I don't know. I don't see that. Roshi's gone up against individuals who could blow up planets with their finger. With their finger. Onoki hasn't done that. And even going up against individuals who aren't that powerful, he still ended up losing against Madara, and he had 4 other Kages to back him up. So, I mean, there's the problem there, is that Roshi is actually able to handle himself on his own against multiple opponents a lot easier than Onoki can, too. And I'm not saying in his prime Onoki couldn't handle opponents a lot easier, but as it stands now, Onoki even had trouble 1-on-4 or 1-on-5 with him being part of that 5. Granted, it was Madara, but that's the point still remains. But I say all this, but I think there is a legitimate chance Onoki could win. Unlike, say, with the fight with Jiraiya and Roshi, I actually do believe there's a legitimate chance Onoki could win because the dust technique is so freaking hacked. Like, if you're hit by the dust technique, unless you got a teleportation technique or a negation technique or something like that, you're screwed. So, that being said, because he can fly, because he is a good tactician, I would give him a higher percentage than someone like Naruto or Jiraiya against Roshi. And honestly, I think Naruto actually could beat Roshi, probably. Naruto would be one of the few Naruto characters I actually think that could legitimately beat Roshi. I don't think a lot of the Naruto characters could beat Roshi. Most of the Konoha, most of the Rookie 10 couldn't beat Roshi. Sasuke and Naruto probably could. Kakashi probably could. I'll be honest, I don't think Guy could. And the Guy is a master martial artist. I don't think Guy could. Maybe with a couple of the higher gates unlocked. But I'll be honest, I don't think Guy could. Kakashi though, yes. You know, I say Madara at his peak maybe. But even regular Madara, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to say, but for certain, it's a tough call. Anyway, that's a different thing entirely. Point being is that, yeah, if he traps Roshi and Roshi doesn't have a way to get out of there, he's done. So I'll go 80% Roshi, but a good 20% for like 1 in 5 times. I think Onoki would actually win the fight. But I still go Roshi the majority. What do you think, though? You think Onoki wins or you think Roshi wins? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a little bit because I got a review for Alita Battle Angel to do still. So later.